No.
Caught me off guard when I woke up this morning. Jets trading for wide receiver Davante Adams. He reunites with his former Packer quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Jets now add him to Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall in that offense. Need to get things going because they're 2-4 right now. Not to be outdone, division leader Buffalo trading for Amari Cooper, acquiring him from the Browns. Cooper would be a welcome addition to a Bills offense currently ranking 25th in passing yards per game. He's gone over 1,000 yards in 7 of his 9 NFL seasons. The Bills, a heavy favorite to win the East, minus 425. Jets second, plus 500. Their odds, I should say, move slightly after the Adams trade. Miami's still sitting at 10-1, despite having a better record than the Jets technically, and expecting Tua Tagovailoa back at some point, but it has been rough sledding with him on the shelf. All right, let's get Anita back in here immediately because, again, haven't talked since this trade went down. I'm just going to wind you up. Sit back and listen. Your thoughts on Davante to the Jets, my friend.
This is, I host sports talk radio here in New York. This is a radio sportscaster's dream. The poop show. That's the Jets right now, all because of Aaron Rodgers. So first things first, how am I going to go to the window with this? I'm going to go under the team total. I'm going to say that they're not going to make the playoffs. In fact, I'm going to go one step further. In the AFC East, I've got the Bills coming in first and the Dolphins expecting to get Tua back next week to come in 1-2 in that division. And oh, by the way, they're going to get their butts handed them by the Steelers this week. Aaron Rodgers single-handedly is destroying this Jets franchise. Guys, he broke the code. No matter what happens in a game, you as a quarterback, you never call out your offensive line and you never call out your wide receiver, regardless if he ran the wrong route. So I am not believing, as great as Davante Adams is, that one wide receiver is going to come in here and be Jesus on cleats and save this franchise when really at the end of the day, Aaron Rodgers is struggling. He's not the Aaron Rodgers we saw play in Green Bay. It's not happening. They've got a tough schedule moving forward. Like I said, I don't believe they beat the Steelers. I just find it hard to believe that one wide receiver who's battling father time as well is going to save this franchise. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it.
She delivered.
Yeah, she did indeed. That's classic sports talk radio. It's a job well done.
8.5, by the way, the adjusted win total that Anita's going under.
So, like a good rule of thumb, if you're going to do this, if you don't want to be just a recreational bettor, if you want to improve, like a really good rule of thumb is to train yourself with all the news that hits you to not overreact, right? Like Monday night, we saw a bad performance against the Bills. The reaction is the Jets are done. Let's bury them, right? Don't overreact. Then a day later, they're trading for Davante Adams. Oh, my God, the Jets are back in it. They're going to win this thing. Don't overreact, right? Stay even keel. Process your way through it. Try to find your opportunities. Sometimes going the other direction from the news could create a window. What's the season-long prop we've got here? The receiving yards for Adams now.
750.5.
750.5. All right. Now, that includes what he's already accumulated, which is 209, from what I understand. So this adjusted prop is about 725.5. He already has 209. So can Davante Adams get 542 receiving yards over the last 11 games of the season? That's 49.2 yards per game, with Rodgers, his boy, trying to force him the ball. I think that's a number he can hit. He's got to stay healthy, and they can't completely come unglued. I think that's something that's worth looking into there. That number feels pretty light, especially with everyone thinking going into this Pittsburgh game, maybe he doesn't get a lot of reps. I think Rodgers is going to try to get him the ball.
All right, isolate Davante himself rather than the Jets team where there's less variables. As long as he stays healthy, Aaron Rodgers, they should be able to show us what we've seen for so many years in their careers. All right.
49 yards a game?
And we're back here on ESPN Bet Live. Joe Fortenbaugh, Tyler Fulgham, joined by our Thursday evening quarterback, Dan Orlovsky. And Dan, since we last talked to you, the Jets add Davante Adams, reuniting him with
I've heard.
You haven't talked about it for 48 hours straight. Still, the market doesn't believe in these Jets. They're favored to miss the playoffs, and most people like under 8.5 win total. At least that's their adjusted market.
Give me the over.
You're over? You think Davante can help turn this team around?
Absolutely.
How does this mean over?
I think he just meant like over the river.
Oh, go over the wall.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Over whatever is the obstacle, you know? That's all. Okay, so one, I think they are better than the 2-4 record implies that they are. They've lost 3 straight games. 2 of them are essentially because of missed field goals and one because of pick six that is very abnormal for the quarterback's performance. I think Davante Adams makes everybody's job and performance on the offense better and or easier. Garrett Wilson's going to get better and more favorable matchups. This is going to help Breece Hall and Braylon Allen in the run game. Safeties have to play deeper. They have to commit defensively more people to coverage. He is still one of the premier wide receivers in the NFL. The offensive line doesn't have to block as long because the ball will be coming out. Also, the main thing is he will be exactly where he's supposed to be, where Aaron expects him to be, so there will be a more rhythm-based to their pass game. The schedule is very soft. I think over on that easily.
Same division, similar question. Amari Cooper traded from Cleveland to Buffalo. So what does it do for Josh Allen and the Bills offense?
The one thing that offense, and specifically Josh, hasn't been good at this year is throwing the football down the field. They've ran the ball really well. They've gotten playmakers the football in space. They've been efficient in their pass game underneath. Amari Cooper is a vertical threat. He is a guy that can go downfield, track the football. He's a person who can separate against man coverage down the field to create big chunk pass plays. This is an offense that had the makings to be a good unit. Now, if Amari gets there and is consistently with the guy that we've seen the majority of his career, this becomes a very good offense.
All right, so that's the big picture look at both teams and what those trades mean. This weekend specifically, Adams and Rodgers going to Pittsburgh to take on the Steeler defense. What can we expect from a guy like Adams in a first performance when you only have so much time to get on the same page?
Amari could go out right now and get 10 catches in this offense. I mean, he knows the offense
Davante,
inside and out. Excuse me, Davante. He could go get 10, knows it inside and out. I don't know his name, but he knows the offense inside and out. Do you guys remember when OBJ was traded or acquired by the Rams?
Yeah.
They played against the San Francisco 49ers. And he got the first catch.
I remember.
So I totally expect something very similarly where the first snap or first pass of the game goes to Davante Adams. Realistically, do I think he can go 6+ catches for 60 to 80+ yards? I do. That's like the low standard. I think the Steelers have a good defense. I don't think it's as good as some of the performances we've seen from them this year. It's been a little bit up and down. They carry T.J. Watt, but I think Davante could have an immediate impact.
And that hamstring feeling real good for Davante now that he's
that
there.
Willy Wonka.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey.
Did the somersault and he's feeling spry. Let's stay with this game because there's news on the other side, confounding to some. It appears Mike Tomlin is very seriously considering turning to Russell Wilson as a starting quarterback. Do you think that'd be a good move?
I don't, and I do think Russell's going to be the starter. I did not 2 days ago, but if you just listen to Coach Tomlin talk and pick up the breadcrumbs, it certainly seems like that is going to be the case. The Steelers are 4-2 in a 4th and goal from being 5-1, touchdown by Dak Prescott. This offense hasn't been unbelievable, but they're in first place. And no, they're not in first place because of the offense, but they're not in 4th place because of the offense either. So I think that the number one thing that Justin Fields has masked in this offense is a poor pass-protecting offensive line. Russell Wilson's the most sacked quarterback in the NFL over the last 3 years. It's hard for me to envision him taking over as the starting quarterback to help that pass-protecting offensive line that's been deficient. I think this is a step back offensive performance-wise for the Steelers.
So you feel like a lower scoring, more sluggish affair, because that would point to an underbet, which is what we're trying to extract.
Weather away, I think the Jets can score close to 30 points in this game.
Oh, wow.
Jets, okay, that's actually a good team total bet there.
Jets are favored, by the way, in Pittsburgh with Russell Wilson looking like he will be the starter. Let's move to the NFC North. Been by far the best division in football this year. All 4 teams have at least 4 wins. And in Week 7, we get the Lions taking on the 5-0 Minnesota Vikings. Vikings coming off their bye. Detroit coming off that demolition of Dallas. How do you see this specific game and then the division as a whole playing out?
If you had asked me who I thought would win this game a week ago, I would say Detroit. But the loss and injury to Aiden Hutchinson is massive. And so I think I favor Minnesota in this game. I think Minnesota has got a lot of the makings for them to be able to control the line of scrimmage offensively. It's a very good offensive line. And then Aiden Hutchinson had 28 pressures for the Detroit Lions. The next second-placed guy is Josh Pascal with 5. How do you get after Sam Darnold in this offense when they're very good individually and then you have lost your premier pass rusher? I still think the Lions are a very good football team. I'm hoping that I feel differently about my answer right now. I favor the Vikings in the division now. Okay. Again, a week ago, I favored the Lions. I'm hopeful that in a couple weeks, because I think the Lions are the best team, if and when they make a trade to try and supplant or supplement the loss of Aiden Hutchinson, if they get a viable and impactful starter at that spot, then I do believe the Lions are the best team in that division.
That's one monster matchup this weekend. The other is a Super Bowl rematch in Santa Clara. Niners hosting the Chiefs. Two teams where there's a very interesting trend here. San Francisco starts fast, top 5 in scoring, 5-1 against the spread in the first half this year. Chiefs are the opposite. They start slow. It goes back to last year. Mahomes as a starter in the regular season, 2-9 against the spread in the first half, last 11 games. They're 15th in first half scoring this year. Is that something you would see continuing in a game like this?
Yeah, I could see. The only thing is, usually Kansas City coming off the bye with Andy Reid is phenomenal.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of like the perfect storm. In that regard, they had so much success with their first game out after the Rashee Rice injury, and it was against the Saints. You're like, man, this offense looks fantastic. And now you watch the Saints give up 50-plus points against the Bucs. You're like, maybe it was a little bit more of the Saints than just an incredible performance by the Kansas City Chiefs offense. Their defense will absolutely keep them in every single game, and I think it will do so in this game as they figure out kind of the consistent process of who they are offensively. They will have to hit some shots downfield against San Francisco and then the yards after the catch. I could see them starting slow offensively in this game, but I don't think it's going to be to the detriment of them being able to win the game over the course of 4 quarters.
All right.